What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode review for Attack on Titan, the final season. I completely forgot what episode we were on, because I know this is technically 71.
This is episode 12.
12. Okay, so with me as always, I have Blues Pitch.
So yeah, we start the episode with Armin meeting with crystallized Annie again, and of course he tries to, I guess he tried to touch the crystal because he thinks that because he's a Titan shifter as well, that he can transfer the memories from him to her, or actually her to him, or whatever it is, how it works. I don't know, but of course, I forgot that one character that stopped him. It's Hitch, yeah. I think. So well, you know, of course, like she's been looking after like the Annie crystal for some time, and then of course her and Armin have a little conversation before they head outside and see like a bunch of protesters outside wanting Eren to be released.
Yeah, Hitch also hands Armin a newspaper that mentions about Eren being imprisoned, because as we know from the last episode, that information got leaked, and the reporters, one of the reporters at least who writes for the newspaper there, I guess did a report on Eren's imprisonment, and that seemed to have riled up a lot more people to go outside and protest Eren's imprisonment.
Yeah, because like they believe like his attack on Marley was justified, even though in the long game it's not going to have a positive effect on Paradise Island later down the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a gray area, I feel, because I really think that if he didn't do anything, it probably would have been worse. Because if he didn't do anything, we already know that they were going to go to war with them regardless of what Eren did.
The problem was Willy Tybur planned on having himself killed so he would unite all the countries to attack Paradise Island all at once. Because
but I have to wonder, if he didn't die, do you think that the same thing would have happened, or do you think it would have been harder to unite the countries against Paradise?
I mean, it's because like for example, if Eren didn't attack and kill Willy Tybur, Tybur would not have gotten the support from all the other countries to see Paradise Island as a threat.
I guess that's debatable. Like, maybe it's I'm not sure, because as we know, Marley already had conquered a lot of these countries, and not a lot of them really. I doubt like a lot of them will really be able to decide whether or not they would, join Marley or not if they would have been conquered by Marley. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I feel like as bad as it was, I mean, sure, yeah, a lot of innocent people die, but you could argue that's just war. Eren, attacking Marley, probably it definitely seemed to have had an impact on them, even if it was part of Willy's plan. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I'm of the opinion that I don't know if I would say Eren did nothing wrong or anything like that, but it seems like I just don't know. Like, I have to wonder if they didn't do that. Like, I wonder if they would be in a worse position than they are right now. I mean, obviously things aren't so good right now, as this episode really seems to show us that there is a lot of inner turmoil within within the military, yeah. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with especially considering what we learned in this episode about Yelena. It has to do with characters like Yelena and other characters, such as Flock and some others who are just these other characters who have become completely radical and believe that, in restoring the Eldian Empire and all that. So, it's not really just. I mean, of course, it's because of what Eren did, but
it's because
I have to wonder, like, even if Eren didn't do what he did, we still have these characters who are working for their own interests and would probably still cause inner turmoil regardless. You know, sure, you might not have had all the stuff Eren did, but I feel like this kind of thing still would be happening.
Of course, so like you said, like we see Yelena having a meeting with Pixis, pretty much revealing like that she had secret meetings with Eren in the months leading up to the infiltration of Marley, and of course like her and she, you know, of her reasonings of why she did that, and her, I guess it's more or less of her loyalty to Zeke during her time with Marley. And
yeah, Pixis basically wanted to know if it was her that told Eren to do that, to do what he did, but she said that Eren did it because that's what he wanted to do. But it feels like she was implying she like kind of nudged him in that direction, basically.
Yeah.
And this is also something like something they actually cut from the anime. Apparently, was a scene like was her basically being the reason behind Historia's pregnancy. She is revealed in the manga to be the one that told Historia that she should do that. So Yelena's been doing some other things too that make her, you know, kind of suspicious.
Yeah, and of course it's revealed by in the next scene with Hanji meeting with Onya Capone, telling Hanji that Yelena's been killing any other Marley volunteers who, well, that doubted hers or Zeke's loyalty, or like I guess their loyalty to their upcoming plan regarding Eren, I guess. So we literally see, like, you know, like several scenes of like literally her killing off like several people behind the scenes. But yeah, so and then of course we get into another scene with Mikasa and Armin meeting with Premier Zackley, who of course tells them like everything we already heard up to this point about Yelena having these secret meetings with Eren, and her convincing Eren to infiltrate Marley to begin with, and of course that Eren is possibly, or actually, I think it's Eren. He said Zeke wants to work with Eren or something like that.
Yeah, he says that they can't allow like Zeke and Eren to have contact with one another because I guess they're afraid what might happen if they do, you know, if they might be planning something. And Zackley tells them that they can't talk to Eren, or they can't go and actually like meet with Eren. And this kind of upsets both of them, because Armin thinks that you know, if he just talks to Eren, that I guess he could try to convince, or I don't know what he's intending to do. I guess maybe just to try to convince Eren, or try to see things maybe from Eren's perspective.
I guess
I'm not exactly sure what
try to reason with Eren, just to try not escalating things even further, as it already did. But of course, they do end up leaving the meeting, and of course they start suspecting Zackley that they want to transfer Eren's Founding Titan abilities to somebody else, and then of course, like, they pass by 3 military police soldiers that go into Zackley's room, and of course, well, before this even happens, I should mention we also see this strange looking chair.
And they really focus on this chair, and at first I thought this chair was part of that one like torture device that he had in season 3, but I think this is like a new chair he got recently. So yeah, it's not that, but it is a weird looking chair. I guess it still is. Supposedly the chair, I would guess, is still intended to, I guess, torture people with, or whatever he plans to do with it.
I didn't even know what the hell kind of design that was. It had like, I think, what was it for?
It looked like a chair that you would use to, like, just, I don't know, just restrain somebody.
It looks like it, but it had like 3 different, like, whatever those. No, I think it was like 4 or 6 different things up front, I guess, to bind someone.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But of course, we never find out anything more about that chair, because Zackley's room gets
Well, we do find out something about that chair. We find out that chair was apparently there was I guess a bomb hidden in the chair.
And then of course of course, like the room explodes, and then of course Zackley's corpse just flies out the window. So, like, which is like, I'm just surprised. Like, it's just his body just gets flown out of there. Like,
it's just the top half.
Yeah,
of his body.
and of course this almost gets Mikasa and Armin, and then of course they go outside and see like the other soldiers, trying to cover up Zackley's body, and of course this of course riles up all the other protesters that are already outside, showing further support for Eren, I guess.
Yeah. Like I said, this episode seems to really emphasize that there is growing discord within the within the government, and just with the citizens as well, as they seem to distrust them even more, and a lot of them seem to be sent to seem to want to side with Eren.
But yeah, so they of course like investigate what exactly happened, and of course they point out that it was the chair that had a bomb planted on it. And Armin brings up the fact that he notices there were some like Survey Corps recruits that were walking out earlier, I think before or after their meeting with Zackley, and of course they suspected it was what was it? It was the people that leaked the information about Eren being in jail, and I think it was like Flock, Luis, and like several others as well.
Yeah, I mean the rest of the episode, they're trying to figure out like who it could be that's who could be betraying the Survey Corps, or the betraying the government and working with Eren.
Yeah, and of course they mentioned that I think they called the Eren supporters called the Jaegers. Yeah, and of course what happens is thanks to the chaos, Eren manages to escape from prison, and of course Eren meets up with all of his other supporters, meeting him outside, and of course he also asks them where Zeke is being held. So, but that's the last we see of Eren in this episode for now.
Yeah, and Pixis says that Eren will try to meet up with Zeke, and then possibly also Historia. So they basically, I'm guessing, are planning to try to pretty much just stop Eren. We see
Pixis
to intercept him, or they just him and the rest of his followers.
And of course, like there is definitely some infighting whether or not they can really trust other members of the Survey Corps, and they end up questioning Hanji about that, and of course she takes responsibility for it, but it's not enough for her to drop, step down from her position. So there is like a lot of distrust within the other members of the Survey Corps, particularly with some of Eren's friends like Mikasa and the others that used to work with them.
Like Connie and John in particular seem to not be too happy with him. I would say Mikasa and Armin would be more willing to try to negotiate with him, I suppose. It seems more like John and Connie they probably still would, but they seem much more hostile.
Yeah, after what happened with Sasha a few episodes ago, I don't think they'd be willing to help Eren out at this point. But of course, Pixis decides that the government will make a deal with Eren. I guess like making a deal with Eren to meet up with Zeke. So I mean that they're just like literally already surrendering to Eren at this point, which is surprising to me.
Yeah, I kind of didn't expect Pixis to say that, but he was pretty much like, we don't need all the infighting basically, but it kind of seems unavoidable at this point. It's like you either, because I mean it seems like people are kind of split as opposed to like what they feel, how they feel about Eren.
And not to mention the fact that they have to get ready from possibly an upcoming attack by Marley sometime later. But of course, once the meeting.
Oh, we should also mention that we see Lady Azumabito again, and she tries to I think she like tries to convince Mikasa to come back to Hizuru with her.
But
Mikasa says that she doesn't want to come. She wants to stay there.
yeah, you know, like she considers herself an Eldian.
She also calls her out for being, like greedy.
Yeah.
Because like Lady Azumabito kind of explains why she has to be that way, I guess. But I still don't really
I guess for political reasons, I guess. But Mikasa Azumabito Mikasa suspects Azumabito wants Mikasa to join Hizuru, I guess to help lead her people, because
probably for political reasons.
more or less, because Mikasa is a descendant for I guess from a shogun line. I guess.
Yeah, like one of the clans of Hizuru, I guess.
Yeah, but like you said, like Mikasa refuses and cites her loyalty as being an Eldian first, and hoping that she can help the people in Paradise Island before helping I guess Azumabito join Hizuru, I guess. But I don't know where that's going to go. Maybe she will go to Hizuru and help the people of Azumabito, but it's unknown at this point. But of course, so Mikasa and the others joined up with Hanji. I guess they're going to meet up with Yelena, because they of course they immediately suspect her for being a part of the bombing incident that just took place, and so I guess they're going to meet up with at Niccolo's restaurant somewhere downtown, and then of course at that same place we see Sasha's family alongside Gabby and Falco, I guess, get ready to have a private dinner with Niccolo after he made a deal with Sasha's family during her funeral.
Yeah. And then of course the very last scene we see is that Pieck, I guess you'd say in disguise.
I'm surprised she's already there.
Yeah, I kind of have to wonder how she even got in.
Yeah, I mean, unless I don't. Yeah, it's. I mean,
I didn't expect that. I kind of figured Reiner was going to try to sneak in there, but
it was literally the last episode that Reiner and the others said that they were going to infiltrate Paradise Island. But I'm surprised that they're already there this soon.
I mean, people would recognize Reiner. People would probably not recognize either Pieck or Galliard, though, because they don't know who they are. But yeah, Reiner, he probably couldn't show his face anywhere.
No, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, this is not the first time Pieck has been there. She's been there back in season, back in the end of season 3, but that was only in her Titan form.
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't been in her human form, so they don't know who she is. They don't know she's the card Titan.
I think maybe a handful of the.
Well, some people might, but most people won't know who she is.
I guess a handful of this of the Survey Corps know who she is. Including Yelena as well, since she's the one who laid the trap for her and Galliard during the events in Marley. But yeah, that's pretty much where the episode ends. It was more. The episode was pretty good, and more of a political thriller type of episode at most, if I have to guess.
Yeah, it's kind of been that way since the that attack on Marley arc. And I don't really mind it because it is interesting. But I really also feel like this episode was setting up for Eren just becoming the villain, and leading the Jaegerists, I suppose. Obviously against Marley, but as well, I suppose, against the Survey Corps, and because they have different ways in which they want to handle Marley.
I mean, you can clearly see Eren's perspective has completely changed ever since the events of the end of season 3, because you used to be his hatred for Titans, but then after learning what he learned at the basement from his father, it really, I guess you could say, warped his perspective on things now, including about perceiving who his enemies are at this point.
Yeah, but I do agree. This was a really good episode. I'm hoping that we, in the next episode, we get some. We finally get some kind of back to the action, because it does feel like it's been like we've spent quite a few episodes just it's just more or less explaining like how we got to where we are at the beginning of this season, and also just going more into the political nature of things. Which makes sense considering where we were at the end of season 3. So it's basically just getting us all caught up. So maybe now that we've mostly been caught up with what's going on, we'll be getting back to more supposedly more Titan fights and stuff like that. But and I'm pretty sure that's all going to happen once Reiner and the rest of Reiner and all the other characters like Galliard and Peak reveal themselves. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with Zeke as well, because based on the episode preview, it seems like we'll probably get maybe some scenes with Levi and Zeke. I don't know if they're going to, because we know that they're trying to get to Zeke. So I don't know if they'll actually get to Zeke by the next episode. It seems like the next episode is going to focus again on Gabby and Falco. So maybe part of the episode will focus on that, and then maybe the rest might go back to Zeke and Levi.
Yeah, I mean, this episode was transitioning to a lot of different characters all at once, transitioning from Yelena, and then going to Hanji to Onya Capone, then Mikasa and Armin, and going back and forth.
And then, as we know in this episode too, Eren's goal is also to get to Zeke. So I don't know if that might happen potentially either in the next episode or the end.
I think it's
he might try to get to Zeke.
I'm pretty sure it's likely that they'll see each other before the season ends. Before this part of the season ends. I think we only have 4 more episodes left, because there were 16 episodes this season. Well, this part of the season.
Yeah, I get the feeling this season could possibly end with, whatever Reiner's planning on doing, making a move on Paradise Island, could end that way.
It's possible. Peak and Galliard could be doing their own thing, and while Reiner is going to be busy trying to look for Gabby and Falco, because I guess that's actually his one of his main goals. I think by the end of the last episode.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see what happens with that. I am interested to see how Reiner's going to handle this. I wonder where Reiner even is, because like I said, he really can't show his face. So I have no idea how it's going to be much harder for him to sneak around.
Paradise Island. Not with with the Survey Corps scouting the entire area. Unless he can just sneak around more of the rural areas, and it's less likely he'll get caught. But I think his goal is to just to mainly look for Gabby and Falco, because pretty much Reiner's motivations as as to what he wants to do as a warrior titan has pretty much diminished, because he doesn't really want to do anything. He doesn't want any involvement with any of this upcoming war, or all this other stuff going on.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll have to see if he gets involved or not. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say about this episode. I don't know if you have anything else.
I thought it was a pretty good episode. Definitely a lot of tension happening with a lot of the main cast and everything that's going on within the government of Paradise Island right now. So I'm curious of where it's headed. I'm pretty sure the rest of the season is just going to be focused more on what's happening on Paradise Island compared to having us go back to Marley. It's possible we'll go back to Marley, but I think that's a bit of a ways away, for us to go back there.
Well, most of the important characters that we were focusing on that were in Marley, like Reiner, Galliard, and Piek, are now, I'm guessing, now all at Paradise Island anyway. So I don't really see much of a reason to go back to Marley again, unless we're going to focus on that Magath, which could happen, but yeah. But yeah, like that all being said, until next Sunday, we will see you all next time.